In this lesson, let's talk about creating packaging and packaging requirements. Now, this can be a little bit of a confusing topic because there's no great central resource for understanding all of your packaging requirements, okay? So when I start off with thinking about what I'm gonna do for my packaging, I like to speak with my factory and say, what do you typically do to package this style of product, okay? And they can probably say whether or not it normally comes in a poly bag or in a box or in whatever else. And that's usually where I like to start. And then I go from there. So then I think like, okay, is this style of packaging, is it good enough for me? Or do I want to do something different or simpler or more complex or higher end or lower end or whatever else? So I usually speak with my particular factory about that. Part of the decision making of what type of packaging it has is what does the customer expect for a good customer experience? So for example, my hooded baby towels, I included them in a pretty nice box and it's labeled as eco-friendly and it feels like fairly like high end and like fairly high quality. You can see the little towel through there. It looks kind of nice when you first get it. So it looks nice enough that you would give it to someone for a present or a baby shower or whatever else. They'd be like, okay, this is like a nice product that I enjoy quite a bit. Other times I do things quite differently. An example of that is these jungle sticks, these marshmallow sticks. They're just in a bag, and then on this bag is just a label that says the brand name, and it has the FN SKU so Amazon can scan it, and a few other little pieces of information right there. So this is like really simple, right? This is just on this plastic bag. And then there's lots of other methods of packaging too, as you can imagine. I ordered one of my competitors' products for the yard signs when I was investigating. Theirs just came in this pretty simple, basic looking brown box with a color sticker on the front. So that's a fine way to do your packaging as well. Another example is this Jungle Slider keyboard tray. Same thing. It's just a pretty typical box with some information on the end of it. And I think there's the FN SKU printed on that side of it as well. So as you see, lots of different types of packaging that you can go for, right? And some of my products have like really nice and really high-end packaging. Other ones I keep it pretty simple because I don't think that the customer expects very much. So that's kind of like the first decision is like what style of packaging do you want to have? After that, you need to be thinking about the requirements. So on every piece of packaging, you need to have the FN SKU, which we talked about in the last lesson. This is how Amazon knows that this is your product, that you own this product, and to associate the sales of it to you. In addition, you need a country of origin. So it's really hard, I'm sure really hard to see, but this says that it was produced in China. And then besides that, there are a number of different legal requirements in different countries for your particular type of product. And like I said, there's no good central resource for this. The best resource that I've found is one, asking an inspection company. We'll talk more about inspection companies during the shipping module. And two, just ordering the competitors' products and seeing, especially larger brands, and seeing what they have on their packaging. For example, this piece of packaging right here, on the bottom here, it says where it's made, so that's a country of origin. And then it also has a few different symbols on here like FCC. You'll see other ones that are like UL listed, or there's all different types of these like requirements for different countries for different types of products. Another example is on this guy, we have essentially washing instructions, whether or not you can bleach, avoid dry cleaning, things like that. So these would all be items that you may include on your packaging. Like I said, there's no good central resource for these. So what I recommend is ordering some of the big brands products and then looking to see what they have on there and then asking your inspection company. That's the best way to go about it. So those are kind of like the must-haves. The nice-to-haves would be things like, I recommend you keep it relatively simple, not go too crazy with it. I recommend making it visually appealing. I would probably recommend to include your contact information on there. That's fairly common to include your website or name or company name or whatever else. And then something else that is getting more and more common with these types of products is including little product inserts. So this particular product insert, it asks on one side to enter their email address for a giveaway. So junglesnugs.com/giveaway. They fill out their information, their email, and they get a chance to win a bundle of baby products worth up to $300. And on the back end, it asks them to leave a review. If you do choose to ask to leave a review, you have to do it in an unbiased way. This one just says, help us get the word out by leaving a review. Leaving an Amazon review is easy. Get there by typing junglesnugs.com/review into your browser, and that takes them to the product review page. Nobody really knows how much these increase the number of reviews that you get. Maybe they don't make much of a difference. Maybe they do. It's really hard to know, but it's relatively simple to design those and include it. So if you feel like doing them or if you have a little bit of time, it's probably worth throwing in there, but just make sure you don't ask in a biased way. Like, don't say, if you've enjoyed this product, please leave us a review. If you don't enjoy this product, please contact us so we can help or something like that, because Amazon sees that as fraudulent. Now that you know what your packaging should look like and what you need to include on it, the last thing to do is to actually get it created. And there's a few different ways you can do this. You can keep it really simple, like what's on these, just the sticker on this poly bag, right? If you keep it really simple like that, you can probably just, like almost anyone could probably do that themselves. If you'd like to make it a little bit nicer and still wanted to do it yourself, you could use a tool like Canva. It's free. It's pretty good for designing stuff. They have like some little templates on there and stuff. So that works pretty well. If you want to pay someone, probably the best place to find people who specialize in Amazon is the Jungle Scout Market. And on here, you can go into graphics and design, and there's a section for people who do packaging design. You can see there's all types of different packaging design on here. Everything from low price of 25 or 60 bucks all the way up to ones that cost hundreds of dollars. So actually, this is a pretty affordable way to get someone who kind of knows what they're doing, especially with Amazon, and is probably pretty good to design your packaging. Other alternatives, if you don't want to use the Jungle Scout Market, would be places like Fiverr or Upwork, or there's this site called 99 Designs where a bunch of different people submit designs and the winner gets the money. I think over the years, they've gotten a lot more expensive though. Last time I checked for a packaging design, I think it's at least 500, maybe closer to 1,000. Let's see here real quick. This is what it looks like. And so product packaging from $349. But if I remember right, once you start going through the process, they start trying to charge you like 500 or 1,000 to get something of kind of like good or decent quality. That's essentially the different ways that you can go about getting it designed. Your factory will likely ask for, or at least I recommend, and they'll likely ask for the designs in vector format. It's typically a CVG file, sometimes a PDF file, or a Adobe Illustrator file. Just think of it as like a file type that's going to be higher quality and better for doing printing, especially like printing with packaging. That's about all there is to it when it comes to packaging. Keep in mind that your second or third or fourth production run, you could always change your packaging and make it a little bit higher quality or higher end. So when you're going about thinking about how you're going to do this, like I said, I would recommend keeping it relatively simple. Again, just like with all steps, don't get hung up on this step because you can always improve this over time. But that should give you all the information that you need to know in order to create your packaging for your product. So good luck with it.